Thank you. Good evening. It is 7:31. I'd like to call to order the November 8th meeting of the Connecticut or the Norwalk Common Council. Please rise and join me in pledging allegiance to our nation's flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Ms. Dixon, if you'll please call the roll.
Mr. Burnett,
Present.
Mr. Goldstein,
Here.
Ms. Johnson, Ms. Najolski Eichner,
Present.
Ms. Smith,
Yes. Here, sorry.
Ms.
Yeah,
Ms.
it's me.
Ayers,
Here.
Mr. Ubelman,
Present.
Ms. Revoluz, Ms. Young,
Here.
Mr. Kites,
Here.
Ms. McMurr,
Present.
Ms. Alterman,
Here.
Mr. Meek, Mr. Livingston,
Here.
Ms. Shanahan,
Here.
Ms. Johnson, Ms. Revoluz, Mr. Meek. 12, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda, acceptance of the minutes of the regular meeting of October 17th, special joint meeting. Ms. Shanahan,
I so move.
any corrections, deletions, or omissions? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the minutes? Opposed? Abstentions?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Goldstein abstains. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, approval of the minutes of October 25th, 2022. Do I have a motion? Mr. Burnett? Any corrections, omissions, or deletions? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? Abstentions?
I abstain.
Ms. Shanahan abstains. Motion carries. Public participation. Is there anybody in the audience that wishes to address the council? Mr. Mancy, do we have anybody on that would like online that would like to address the council?
If anyone would like to address the council, please raise your hand electronically now, and I will unmute you. Thank you. And please state your name and address for the record.
Thank you. Pardon me?
We have an email from Lori Schiller.
Mhm.
She wanted this strategy record.
Yes, we have an email from Ms. Diana Rochella, who will, we'll read this into, we'll have this passed out to the council people for the record. The topic is
Norwalk Tree Master Plan.
Norwalk Tree Master Plan. Next item on the agenda is resignations and appointments. As you see, we have a resignation of Matthew Berluzzi from the Conservation Commission. He is, I guess, moving out of town and therefore was not able to serve anymore. Next, an appointment that gives me great pleasure to nominate and appoint Vanessa Valderez for as a Chief of Operations for Public Works. She has been a city employee for many, many years. She has also served in the capacity of interim Chief of Operations during the time that Anthony Carr departed and she took over. She's done a remarkable job. And before that, I would watch her communicate with others in a setting, other engineers at various levels. And she is always on top of things. She's really respected by the people with whom we're dealing. And it was certainly, for me, not a question from the very beginning that I would nominate her to be the new Chief of Operations. So I would need a motion to move that forward. Ms. Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, it is my wholehearted pleasure to make this motion to move the appointment of Vanessa Valadares as Chief of Operations and Public Works. It's been really a pleasure to work with Vanessa over these past many months. I first got to know her when I came on the Public Works Committee, when she was chief engineer. As you have stated, she's worked for the city for some time, first as junior engineer. And I always found Vanessa to be open and willing to work with the common council members, be sensitive to the issues that we have brought to her. Since she has been serving as interim chief, she has really gone out of her way to address every issue that we have brought to her. I think that one of the things I've really also noticed is she's working so well with all of the other chiefs and bringing everyone together. And I think that that will only move our city forward in a positive and more enlightened way. And finally, she really took the efficiency study to heart. She looked at that efficiency study, she read through it, and she is moving those ideas forward. So I cannot say enough about Vanessa, enough good about Vanessa, and I just wholeheartedly support this appointment. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Mr. Livingston.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just have to add to that. When I saw this, I was so excited to see this. I think can't think of anybody more deserving of this position. I have had the pleasure of working with Vanessa myself since a long time, and I've always found her to be open to suggestions, very responsive, knows what she's doing, and will always tell you the truth no matter what it is, and will work with you at the extent she can. I think it's a fantastic appointment. I'm very pleased, and thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Goldstein.
I only want to add, and I want to recognize both Vanessa's here in the audience as well as Vanessa's sister, who's here from Brazil. I think it's something to note, and I think that you can see how excited we are about this appointment, and we are. And I think that one of the things that underscores this is that we not only view you as someone who is an expert in your field, but we genuinely respect and take seriously the opinions that you bring to us and the analysis and your ability to effectively communicate them. You clearly make this city better. There are a lot of public works challenges and projects that we have, worked to make Norwalk the modern and thriving city that it is. To do so requires continued effort to make sure that we meet the high marks that we set for ourselves. And you are an absolute perfect fit to make that happen. And so we will be relying on you to help make this city continue to make this city the best city in Connecticut.
Thank you. Any further comment? Mr. Hooverman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to raise my voice also in support of this. Vanessa is an absolute asset to this city. I have dealt with her on numerous occasions through issues that constituents have brought to me, and she is responsive and she is very straightforward about what can and can't be done, and then works to achieve the thing that she told me couldn't be done. So that's even more amazing. So I think this is a great move for the city.
Ms. McMurray.
Thank you so much. I just want to reiterate what everybody has said. I have found Vanessa to be communicative, solution-oriented, and just wonderful to work with on both big projects and small projects. She's very detail-oriented, and I just really appreciate her breaking down very complex things for my simple mind on many occasions. So thank you so much.
Any further comment? Ms. Smith?
Just one final note. I imagine your boys are very proud of you.
Any further comment?
Mayor, so
Yes.
there's not much else that can be said. I think, my fellow council members have said it all, but I'm not sure if she is the first woman to fill that position within City Hall. I think is amazing, and kudos and congratulations to you. And congratulations to you, Mayor, too, for making that appointment and moving that forward. I think it's very well deserved of Vanessa.
Thank you.
And I just think that this is the longest we've ever taken, I think, to actually move someone forward. And I think that speaks to Ms. Valadares's work ethic and the way that she relates to others. Because in a male-dominated field, it takes a lot of savvy to be able to work your way through all of that. And so I just want to say congratulations to her. It's well deserved. And congratulations to us as a city for having her. So there you go.
Thank you, Ms. Young. Any further comments? I'm glad you mentioned that because I do have notes here that I was going to follow up with. Yes, Ms. Valadares. Actually, it's Ms. Vanessa Nobre Valadares. And she is absolutely the first woman to lead the Public Works and as Chief of Operations. And one thing we're very proud of, if you look throughout the department heads, the chiefs, the council, we have become a woman-led city. And we are on the right track to move this city forward like never before. And I think that's a testament to who we are as a people, who we are as a city, and how we work together and how we look for the right talent and put the right talent in the right place and let them do their work. So I'm so excited that Vanessa is going to have the position permanently, I imagine. But with all the accolades, I might have to give her a pay raise right away. I mean, everybody's talking about how wonderful she is. But anyway, are there any further comments? Seeing none, all in favor of Ms. Vanessa Nobre Valadares? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Vanessa, congratulations. Would you like to say a few words?
You guys don't make me nervous. I usually not nervous, but I all that. Anyhow, I'll have to read part of that. Mr. Mayor and council members, I'm honored to be appointed as the new Chief of Operations and Public Works. I appreciate the trust you have placed in me and the opportunity to serve the city of Norwalk in this new role. It has been a true pleasure to grow professionally within this department over the years, as my first role with the city was as a junior engineer 12 years ago. As the Chief of Operations and Public Works, I will continue my commitment to delivering the best service to our residents and strive to improve efficiency in all areas while focusing on new ways the city can enhance its operations and sustainability efforts. As the leader of this department, I will continue to embrace transparency, collaboration, and new ideas. My door will always be open, and I look forward to working more closely with many of you as we continue to build for the future and make Norwalk the best city in Connecticut to live and work in. I would also like to thank my staff for all their dedication and hard work and for being the pillar of our department's success. Tim, you have my word that I will always help each one of you to achieve your best and as we work together to serve Norwalk residents. Finally, I must admit that I wouldn't be in front of you today if it wasn't for the support of my family. I just imported one from Brazil to be here. It was just a coincidence, but perfect timing. I appreciate the unconditional love that I have always received from them. Luke and Enzo, you're my daily inspiration. Thank you again for the opportunity. I'm very excited to serve. Have a good day.
No, the rest of the meeting's gonna be kind of boring after that. Next item on the agenda is mayor's remarks. And again, welcome, Ms. Valadares. We're so excited to have you with us. Also, as most of you know, this past week, we opened up and did the ribbon cutting at the new Business Development Center down on 3 Belden Avenue. It was very exciting. It has such potential to help our business community. And it's just another example of how Norwalk is committed to helping businesses thrive, whether it's a one-person business working out of the home, whether it's a Fortune 500 company. We're here to help our businesses grow and develop, because if they grow and develop and thrive, so does our city. So every Wednesday afternoon, every Wednesday, I'm sorry, it will be staffed by Sabrina. I can't remember her last name. Gadesky, okay. She just got married, by the way. She'll be there to keep appointments, help people find financial resources, develop a business model or business plan, and she'll be there to work with our business community. So we're excited about that. Next, this is also, I want to acknowledge that November is Native American Heritage Month, a time to reflect on and celebrate the rich, historic, diverse cultures and essential contributions of our nation's first people. This includes some of the local indigenous peoples, such as the first people of Norwalk, the Wappinger, Munsee, Lenape, Paugussett, Pequannock people who inhabited this land. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce some of them right, but it just shows, again, what the history, the storied history of our wonderful city. And we're excited about that. This week, coming up on Friday, I invite not only the council, but the public to come to our Veterans Day ceremony here at City Hall. Starts at 9:30 with a presentation of the band. And then at 10 o'clock, the program begins. This year's guest speaker will be Lieutenant John Simonetti, a retired F-16 fighter pilot with the United States Air Force. It's always great to celebrate our veterans. And having said that, I know that I'm speaking to the choir here, and I'm hoping we got 12 minutes left. If you haven't voted, go out and vote, because our veterans fought very, very hard for our right to vote, going all the way back to the birth of our nation. They defended this country, defended our freedoms, and gave us that right that not many other countries around the world enjoy, a free and open election that they can go and vote without fear. And we're very, very excited about Veterans Day. We're very excited for our veterans. This past week, we had the flag ceremony down at Veterans Park for every first Sunday, and you're all invited. Every first Sunday, we celebrate at the American Legion. We celebrate a veteran that has passed away. And this week we did it down at Veterans Park, and it was really nice. And down at Veterans Park, you'll see for the first time, and we haven't really unveiled it yet, because Norwalk is a Purple Heart city. We have a Purple Heart memorial, or a Purple Heart a monument. Thank you. A Purple Heart monument, and it's really beautiful. So you can go and take a look at that. And for the Wall Street corridor design, we're asking that the City of Norwalk Transportation, Mobility, and Parking team would like to invite the community to our Community Wall Street Corridor second design meeting and open house Monday, November 14th at 5 p.m. at the Norwalk Public Library. I'm done, and turn it over to you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to make a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing the following item. It's authorization to settle claim as the following defendants in the matter of the City of Norwalk and City of Norwalk Redevelopment Agency versus ILSR Owners LLC et al. Docket number X08-FST-CB-18-6038249S, which is currently pending in the Stanford Norwalk Judicial District at Stanford. 1, ILSR Owners LLC. 2, POCO Partners LLC. 3, POCO Management Corporation. 4, POCO IWSR Developers LLC. 5, IWSR Managers LLC, and 6, Richard Olson.
Mr. Livingston has made a motion to go into executive session. All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. I would ask the people in the audience to vacate the premises, and we will be coming back. Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. We're going in there. You can stay. We're going in there. Okay, thank you. It is 8:10 p.m. and we are out of executive session. During executive session, no motions were made, no votes were taken. Mr. Livingston.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would now like to move the following item. Authorization to settle claims as to the following defendants in the matter of City of Norwalk and City of Norwalk Redevelopment Agency versus ILSR Owners LLC at all. Docket number X08 FSD CV 18603829849S, which is currently pending in the Stanford Norwalk Judicial District at Stanford. 1 ILSR Owners LLC, 2 POCO Partners LLC, 3 POCO Management Corporation, 4 POCO IWSR Developers LLC, 5 IWSR Managers LLC, and 6 Richard Olson. I move
You wanna call the
down.
vote?
I'll now call for a vote. All in favor, indicate by raising your hand. Okay, any opposed? Abstentions? Seeing none, the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Livingston. Now, you have the floor for the consent calendar.
Tonight's consent calendar will be read by Mr. Kidings.
Thank you. First up is item A1 under Recreation, Parks and Cultural Affairs. Item 1 is to authorize Mayor Harry W. Rilling to sign an executive to execute the following resolution, whereas the City of Norwalk, operating through its Department of Recreation and Parks, have requested funding to park improvements that would enhance its green infrastructure and sustainability. And whereas the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection is authorized to extend financial assistance for park system improvements. And whereas it is desirable and in the public interest that the City of Norwalk make an application to the state for $4.5 million and to execute and assist agreement. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Norwalk. Item 1A, that it is cognizant of the conditions and prerequisites for the state's financial assistance imposed by the state of Connecticut Department of Energy and Environmental Protection, and B, that the filing of the application for the state financial assistance by the City of Norwalk in the amount not to exceed $4.5 million is hereby approved. Item C, that Harry W. Rilling, Mayor of the City of Norwalk, is directed to execute any file such application with the Connecticut Department of Energy and Environment Protection to provide such additional information to execute such other documents as may be required to execute and assist agreement with the state of Connecticut for financial assistance if such an agreement is offered, to execute any amendments, decisions, and revisions thereto, and to act as the authorized representative of the City of Norwalk. And now moving on to item B, Public Safety and General Government. Item 1A, authorize the Mayor Harry W. Rilling to execute any and all documents and instruments as may be necessary to apply for and accept grant funding under the State of Connecticut Department of Transportation FFY 2023 Comprehensive DUI Enforcement Program not to exceed $50,000, account to be decided. Item 1B, authorize the Chief of Police to execute any and all agreements, documents, instruments, and amendments as may be necessary to implement the State of Connecticut Department of Transportation FFY 2023 Comprehensive DUI Enforcement Grant not to exceed $50,000, account to be decided. Item 2A, authorize the Mayor Harry W. Rilling to execute and all document and instruments that may be necessary to apply for and accept grant funding under the State of Connecticut Department of Transportation FFY 2023 Click It or Ticket Enforcement Grant not to exceed $10,000, account to be decided. Excuse me. Item 2B, authorize the Chief of Police to execute any and all agreements, documents, instruments, and amendments as may be necessary to implement the State of Connecticut Department of Transportation FFY 2023 Click It or Ticket Enforcement Grant not to exceed $10,000, account to be decided. Item 3A, authorize the purchasing agent Sharon Connors to issue a purchase order on behalf of the Police Department to Faro Technologies, Inc. for the purchase of Faro Focus Premium Scanner and related equipment and software as per sole purpose procurement request for an amount not to exceed $110,000, account number noted. Now moving to item C, Public Works. Authorize Mayor Harry W. Rilling to execute an agreement with Frontier Communications Parent Inc. for the East Avenue Advanced Utility Project, number 03010515 NP for an amount not to exceed $550,000, account numbers noted. Item 2, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Ellington, to enter an agreement with Windstream Communications Inc. for the East Avenue Advanced Utility Project, number noted, for the amount not to exceed $5,000, account numbers noted. Item 3, authorize the mayor, Harry Ellington, to execute agreement with Crown Castle International for the East Avenue Advanced Utility Project, number noted, for the amount not to exceed $170,000, account numbers noted. Item 4, excuse me, authorize the purchasing agent to authorize the sole source purchase order to Cargill Salt for treated road salt for snow and ice control, pricing not to exceed $108 per ton for normal and after-hour deliveries, effective for the 22-23 snow season, account number noted. Item, now going on to land use, item D, land use, building management, item 2A, which is to authorize the mayor, Harry W. Ellington, to execute a contract with Gold Seal Roofing LLC for the Meadow Street Fire Station roofing replacement project for a total amount to exceed $313,000, account number noted. Item 2B, authorize the fire department to issue any change orders on contract for a total not to exceed $31,300. And item 3, authorize the purchasing agent to issue a purchase order to the Connecticut Business System CBS for 1875-foot ViewSonic boards for a total not to exceed $61,264, count number noted. Item 4A, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Ellington, to execute an agreement with HB Contractor Corporation for security office improvements in the comptroller's office for a total not to exceed $33,950, account number noted. Item 4B, authorize the chief of building management to issue any change orders on the contract for a total not to exceed $3,395. Item 5, authorize to increase the contingency allowance for moving the services for Precision Placement LLC for the Jefferson Elementary renovate as new project for an additional amount not to exceed $1,220.45. Funds available in account number noted. Item 6, authorize Mayor Harry W. Ellington to execute any and all documents with the Connecticut Light and Power Company, DBA Eversource Energy, related to energy incentives for the Cranberry School project. Item 7A, approved to designate VCP LLC, DBA Verigy, as a preferred solar photovoltaic developer of Cranberry School, Norwalk High School, and South Norwalk School Development Projects. 7B, prefer the designation for the Board of Education for future negotiations of items and execution of corresponding power purchase agreement, PPA. 8A, resolve the Norwalk Land Use and Development Management Committee is hereby establishing as the building committee and with regard to the Nathan Hale Middle School air conditioning project. Item 8B, resolve the Norwalk Common Council hereby authorize at least the preparation of schematic drawings and outline specifications for the Nathan Hale Middle School air conditioning project. Item 8C, resolve that the City of Norwalk Common Council authorize the City of Norwalk Board of Education to apply to the Commissioner of Administrative Services and to accept or reject a grant for the Nathan Hale Middle School air conditioning project. Item 9A, resolve that the Norwalk Land Use Building and Management Committee is hereby established as the building committee with regard to the Silvermine air conditioning project. Item 9B, resolve that the Norwalk Common Council hereby authorize at least the preparation of schematic drawings and outline specifications of the Silvermine air conditioning project. Item 9C, resolve that the City of Norwalk Common Council authorizes that the City of Norwalk Board of Education to apply to the Commissioner of Administrative Services to accept or reject a grant for the Silvermine air conditioning project. And that is the consent calendar.
Thank you, Mr. Keides. I'll now call for a vote on the calendar as read by Mr. Keides. All in favor, indicate by raising your hand. Any opposed? Abstentions? Seeing none, the consent calendar passes as written. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Livingston. Back to you on item 7D1.
Right. I'll move the item. One, authorize the purchasing agent to issue purchase orders to Blackwood Associates, Inc. for the supply and installation of IT security platform, Extra Hop Reveal X360 solution for Norwalk Public Schools for a total amount not to exceed $106,639. Account noted. And I believe we have somebody from the Board of Education to speak to this and answer any questions.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. It's Ralph Alanzisi. I'm stepping in for Mr. Hop, who had a family emergency, but I'll speak to any questions that you may have on the purchase.
Okay, the one question that has come up, is this a capital expenditure or an operating expenditure?
It's actually a capital expenditure, so it's a full solution. Any operating that would come into this for a software continuation with this would be coming out of our operating funds in the following years.
So not out of these funds.
No.
Okay, that was the one question raised. Any other questions? It's that you, Mary.
Mr. Hoover.
No, it's me. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just, this came up in committee. It's come up numerous times. We did an efficiency study. We talked about why we have two IT departments. We still don't seem to get an answer, except that it's, well, they do different things. But my problem that I'm not understanding is in the long run of things, why there isn't one department that can do two different things, because departments do different things. And so I'm curious to understand deeper why this has not happened. It was recommended in the efficiency study to look at. And again, we are still in this divided, Board of Ed, City of Norwalk world that I think we have a long way to go to resolve what that is, to save money, if at all possible. And that's
Just to quickly comment, that's one of those things that takes a little bit longer. We're focusing on the low-hanging fruit. We're preparing a matrix to show the council just how much progress we've made. That would be coming out very soon. I believe the intent is to combine IT. We're looking to hire a webmaster. We're looking to hire a chief information security officer, and all those kinds of things will help us towards that end. And I don't know, Ralph, if you want to add anything else on that.
Yeah, I think there's certain areas where we are looking to try and see how we combine, especially for cost efficiencies. I mean, one example would be, Joyce and I are both putting in for next year, instead of looking at two different security audits, we're actually looking to combine the security audits with one partner, where we would actually have some cost savings. In many cases, our two networks, we do actually share more services than you may realize. So our phone systems are things that we share. We do share the MAN. We share a lot of other pieces, but a lot of the stuff that happens on the city side may be things that are pertinent specifically to police and fire. Whereas there are some things that are more educationally appropriate where we've actually we manage those pieces. One thing that you do manage separately on both areas, and I think we've discussed this with Joyce too, is the security, because it is two different platforms. So that's actually what we're looking to get. We're getting improved right now. For us is to enhance our security systems as the city is doing the same thing. They're moving forward with looking at how do they actually make sure they keep their systems secure. I don't know if that helps in answering the question, but there are definitely efficiencies where we're actually looking to combine those pieces over time.
It does help, and I thank you, and Mr. Mayor, thank you, and I look forward to seeing that study and seeing how this plays out, because I think it's important, because I also think that it is a potential cost saving for the city as a whole. So, thank you.
Any further comment or discussion? I have the all in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. I think the next one is item 7E1, Mr. Kites.
Thank you. Item E1, authorizing Mayor Harry W. Riley to execute a contract between the City of Norwalk and Plan IT Geo Inc. an amount not to exceed $150,000 for the tree master plan inventory and canopy assessment. Count number noted, and it's also noted that these are ARPA funds that will be paying for this. This is, I mean, I can't take credit for this. There's a lot of folks on the ECD committee as well as the council and large amount of city staff that put really good work into this and worked on choosing this company. And just to give you a rough idea of what this master plan will eventually contain is a citywide tree inventory, the planting strategies that the city will be provided with, and a canopy analysis. Also, a maintenance plan that was, as you all know, very important because it's getting the trees where they need to be is a task in itself, but also coming up with a management plan on how the city is going to maintain these trees so they grow tall and thrive. But like I said, this was a group project. A lot of effort was put into it. I want to thank everyone that was involved in it. I think several other council members want to take the opportunity to speak as well.
Thank you, Mr. Kites. Any further comment? Mr. Livingston.
I know before I comment, I don't know if Ms. Vonacek wanted to say anything.
Is Ms. Vonacek with us?
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, good evening, everyone. As Councilmember Kites said, this is a really big effort. We are, as a city, putting in over $1 million to trees. And from the standpoint of ARPA, we have $995,000 dedicated to environmental green space efforts, including this particular canopy assessment and green space plan and tree planting plan. But in addition to that, we have, and partly the importance of this is that we have over $500,000 of ARPA funding to be able to plant trees across the city. And in addition to that, we also have $300,000 specifically dedicated to planting trees in the city of Norwalk. And when it comes to that, we need to be able to have a plan in place to be able to make meaningful change. The team has done amazing things already, and that, of course, is under Chief Valderas. Congratulations to Vanessa for her appointment this evening. I couldn't imagine anyone else better being in that position, and she's always been a pleasure to work with. So really looking forward to that. But her team alone has planted 391 trees in the last 2 planting seasons across the city, which I think is just pushing our efforts really through the roof when we think of the last 20 years of what we've done as far as tree plants go. So, $995,000 of ARPA money, $150,000 has been carved out for a tree canopy assessment and tree canopy inventory. And as Councilmember Kites mentioned, there are a number of deliverables that are included in this work. There are actually 8 in total. One of them is the canopy assessment, which differs from the WestCog report that was done in 2018, because the 2018 report actually references 2015 data, and the 2015 data, we would see that as being outdated, especially with the work that we've done in the last number of years. The new canopy assessment will actually use 2021 data, so 6 years updated from the WestCog report. It'll also include a canopy inventory, and that's a really important difference from what we're doing today from the 2018 WestCog report that was done. The 2018 WestCog report only looked at canopy, which was really using remote sense data and LiDAR data to look at aerial views of tree coverage from the top down. This study that we're looking at doing is looking not only up from the top down, but it's actually taking the 800 trees that we have in our inventory currently, going out and having the consulting team look at those 800 trees and audit the inventory that we currently have. And also, in addition to that, inventory an additional between 4,000 and 4,500 trees. So really looking forward to being able to increase that inventory. The third is to develop goals and objectives that are based on the canopy and based on the inventory in which we build. The fourth deliverable is to build a framework, and that's actually looking at all of our ordinances and looking at our zoning and being able to guide us in recommendations on how to change the way in which we use different tools that we have here at City Hall to be able to ensure planting moving forward. Fifth, it will be developing a maintenance plan. The sixth deliverable is a planting plan to help us focus that $800,000 in tree planting. The seventh is use of software, which is called Tree Plotter and also Canopy Plotter, which is a publicly available data, which will be on the website to allow people to look very specifically at the dot on the map. Click the dot on the map and see all the variables that go along with that tree and a picture of that tree. And we'll have that until the end of 2024. And then finally, one of the things that I'm really excited about is that they will offer a guidance package and they will offer a 2-hour training session for us to be able to bring volunteers together, to have those volunteers be trained on how to enhance the inventory in which we're putting together. So they, in addition to that, and I realize saying a few words, more than a few words, but it's exciting work. They're going to be working with us to do over 10 hours of interviews, 1 full day workshop in person, and doing a lot of public outreach. And so, you know, I know there have been some questions on how does this differ from the 2018 report that was done by WestCog. And that report was done purely from remotely sensed data, LiDAR data, looking at the top down, analyzing what the canopy looked like, and the other variables. Although there was a planting plan and a maintenance plan put in place, there was no public outreach and no community outreach. And I will mention that the 2018 report that was done was all proprietary data, and we do not have any of that data. We were not offered any of that data, so we really don't have anything to work off from the work that was being done. We received the reports and that was all.
Thank you. Mr. Livingston.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I want to thank you, Jessica, and your team. I mean, this is really is exciting. I really think it's a wonderful thing you're doing. And I don't think we need to say how important trees are to the city. I think we all know that now. But what I like about this particularly is it establishes the baseline, and we really can't move forward without knowing where we are to start. And I think that's really critical that this does that. And not only does it do it citywide, as I understand it, provides metrics by neighborhood, which will be particularly important. The tree management plan is terrific, and the tree planting plan, I think, is terrific as well. And I think you mentioned at the committee that the approval tonight will enable us to have a tree planting plan as early as the spring to start planting those $1 million trees, $1 million worth of trees. So anyway, I think it's a wonderful thing you're doing. Thank you again for your team, and I look forward to seeing this move forward.
Thank you.
Ms. Shanahan.
Well, I can't help but say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This has been a dream of ours, a dream of a lot of the conservation community in Norwalk. As Tom said, we absolutely all know how important trees are. We've obviously spent the last year as a council talking about trees, putting in the tree ordinance, doing what we can to protect our city trees, which are such important assets for our city. So I'm so excited to see how this data is going to come out. I'm excited about starting the planting plan in the spring. And I know that the conservation community in general has just been applauding this work. So thank you very much for doing this. It's been a long haul, but you've stuck in there. And I think this is going to be really the start of something big. Thank you.
Ms. Nijinsky-Eichner.
Thank you, Mayor. And Ms. Wojcik, I just wanted to thank you also for providing the information about how this differed from the 2018 WestCog study. I really appreciate your ability to respond to public comments and make sure that we are getting out the best information. So thank you for the work that went into selecting the parameters for the study and for making sure that it will give valuable data to the city that will really be worth our investment and will, I think, guide and really make best use of our $1 million investment in our trees. Thank you.
Thank you. Further comment or discussion?
Mayor, if I may, one of the questions that was asked was if we were able to take away some of the funding from this tree plan to be able to focus it in sustainability. And I did want to let the council know that we have been working with the redevelopment agency to be able to issue an RFP that focuses on a sustainability action plan. And that is actually posted as of today. And that is also funded through ARPA dollars, which is $150,000 commitment as well. So that was one of the questions that did come up. And I wanted to make sure that publicly that everyone was aware that we will be committing $150,000 to that work specifically.
Thank you. Seeing no further discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Ms. Shanahan?
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn by Ms. Shanahan. All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? We are adjourned at 8:35. Thank you all. Now we head over to the, inn.
Well.
Let's see what's